Pam from Over the Big Moon, and today I asked my sister Jamie to do a little bow tutorial. She's kind of my go-to for doing any kind of bow for my garlands, wreaths, Christmas tree in past years, present bows. So she's going to give us a little rundown on a basic bow that you could use for embellishing your presents and making them look presentationally more appealing, and then also for wreaths, garlands, really anything, name it, and it works. So anyways, hope you enjoy it.
Hi, okay, Pam and Lisa asked me to tie a bow on the presents, like a fancier bow that could look good if you're going to display your presents under your tree for a while before Christmas. Excuse the noise, we have a bunch of kids running around. Okay, so how I always start, and there's many fancy bows out there. This is just one I do that's pretty easy and it looks pretty. But before I start, I always cut some wire pieces because your hands are kind of occupied once you get going. So then you can just grab it and it's easier. You can do them, that's a little bit longer than probably needed. You know, it just doesn't need a specific length because you can always cut it down after if it's sticking out at all. But you'd rather cut it a little long and then trim it after than to like be kind of stuck.
Nathan,
so I just cut a handful. On the ribbon, you can use lots of different kind of ribbon, but you need to have it wired on the edges because then it like bends and forms more. So like if you don't get it wired, if you bent it like that, it would just like flop back down. But when it's wired, you can like shape it and it will stay. And stuff, there's different toughnesses of wire, but really any wired is fine, and it doesn't have to be this thick. You can do, there's inch or half inch, and as long as it's wired, it will work. So how I start out, you can do it two different ways. This is a perfect square, but if it's not a square, I usually do it the lengthways. But, and you can have it coming both ends. I think it looks just as good on one side, then you're not using as much ribbon, because we all know ribbon can be pretty expensive. So on this one, you actually cut it, and then I match it, and then I just double knot it towards the center, because then you're actually going to use the wire to make the majority of the bow. So this one's just going to be like this, and you'll see at the end how I just cut it down. So all you're doing is double knotting it so it stays. So just like that, and then you leave this part right here. Now the next part is when you're going to use the wire. So I get a bunch out, so it's like ready. So you're going to form your first circle. So once you form the circle, you're going to have about however much you want hanging off. If you want long hangs coming down off the presents, then you'll want it longer, but that's about what I usually do. Once you bunch it to where you want the length hanging down, then you kind of squinch it in so it's to, and my pretty fingernails. So right there. Then you, not this part, but the back part, you twist halfway around. So once you twist it, you're twisting it like 180 degrees. Then you take and make another loop, and you scrunch in that material so it's scrunched in with the other one and pinch it with your fingers. So then you're right here. Then you turn it halfway again, 180 degrees. And that's what's nice about nice ribbon is you can work with it a lot. Same thing, loop it over, scrunch it in with your fingers, and seeing how that's turning, but you'll be able to work with it because it's nice wired ribbon after. And then you can do as many as you want. I think 4 is enough. I've seen 6, but I almost think you need a bigger present than what I have. This is a regular like board game. And then turn it one more time. Same thing, loop it, scrunch it in. Okay, so I have my 4 scrunches and this hanging out. I take the scissors. You can do this part or the wire next. Let's actually do the wire. So then you take the wire on top, and you got to keep them scrunched together the best you can. Fold the wire over and twist it underneath. So you're twisting it tight. And this is where I said you'll be able to trim it after or whatever you need with the wire. Okay, so now you can let go and it stays. So from there, just kind of cut it where you think you'd want it. You'll be able to cut it nice at the end again. Okay, so from there, you're going to lay it in the middle of that. And then these two, so these are the two I'm working with once I lay it down, okay? So I lay it in the center, And I've even seen, real quick, side note, somebody use a different ribbon for this, and then you tie a bow with a different, so like you could do a solid black and then even like do a bow with this. So just visualize with me. Let's say you got your bow going on like that, okay? And then you tie this through. See how pretty that can be too? So you can mix ribbons, okay? Usually I found they'll use the same width of ribbon and stuff, but it can be different one. So you got this, you stick it in the middle, and then you pull it up in between. So you have your 2 loops on this side, 2 loops on this side, and you're pulling the ones up. That was the very first of what we did, okay? Then you take it and just knot it down. Mattering on, there. And you don't need a double loop it, I don't think, at this point. Then take your loops, and you'll want to kind of bring them to the top. So pull the loops up so they're more seen on top. So you can, you know, puff it however you want. Now, so you're going to have these. Then it's your choice at that point, like to cut them so you can't see them, leave them and twist them pretty and stuff. Like on this one's too long. I would cut this one down. And that's totally by choice of what you want. If it's nice ribbon, I'll show you in just a second. These scissors have a little edge, so I don't like it. It makes it edgy and stuff, but my other ones, I don't know where they went. But look if it's nice ribbon. So you have so many of these, but you don't want to waste the ribbon. You can actually, a nice wired ribbon, I just loop it. Like it's not actually like wired in there, but because the other ones are wired and it's shaped, like I just kind of loop it and it kind of just stays. And so I like 2 sticking out personally. So what I usually do is take 2 of the edges and loop it inwards, and it will stay because it's good ribbon. Any wired ribbon that you get at Michael's, Roberts, any of those Taipan, and like this ribbon I got at Taipan. So, and I'm gonna leave these 2 sticking out. I like 2 sticking out.
Nathan. Good job, this means
So, then from there, there's lots of ways you do it. You have, focus up here now. You can buy sprigs like this with the sticks, and that's the easiest, but they're more expensive. The cheaper way to do it is if you get long stems or stuff like this that is, like you can just cut off a bunch. Like you can just take wire cutters and cut this stuff off. You can always add something in. And it matters. Like lots of times if it's all like, you can just tuck it through the knot. You can take it and wire it in because you got your leftover wires. So you can just see I'm finding the wire. Can you see that down in there, Pam?
Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of reflecting.
So you'll see, but your wire's already down there. So you can just wire it, just twist it around once or twice and wire it in. And then, but usually you'll shape this because you'll see I just messed up the bow that we just kind of puffed, but you can redo it and stuff. And you might, so now I'll want to tuck this back in again and poof it again. And see, and same with these, you can like move them around because there's wire in the sprigs. And then from there, you just kind of poof it and shape it however you want. There's not an exact way to do bows, so you can just play with it and do it however you want. Then that's kind of off to that side, so you move the whole thing over. But then, look how pretty your presents look.
Cool. Thanks, Jay.
You're welcome.
See ya.